Hello awesome people, what is going on? It's BradPhusion here and welcome to Empyrion Galactic Survival. Now, this game is a pre-alpha build and it is currently in early access on Steam, but if you don't know anything about the game, it is a space-based survival simulator. Very much like Space Engineers, if you would play Space Engineers on survival, though this game does have creative as well. Now, I will be comparing this game a lot to Space Engineers, but I have to say that there is one main difference right now, and that is, well, there's a lot of differences. But when it comes down to the survival aspect, this game has planets currently. It has 4 planets in total, I believe, or if you want to count a moon as being a planet, because it's a surface area. But yes, so it has planets currently, as where Space Engineers doesn't. But let's just jump in with it anyway, and I'll show you guys how the game basically works. So, on a new game, we have 2 options here. We have Creative and Survival. Now, when you choose Survival, you start out on a very small planet called Omicron, which is a desert-like planet. Now, they've done this because the points of interest that you can go to on the map exist only in survival mode. Now, the points of interest are derelict ships, AI, monsters, and so on that you would see in a survival game. As where Creative, they don't have that, but instead, they have pre-built stations that you spawn at, and you can basically start wherever you want in the game. Be it based on Omicron, you can have, I think there's a station in Omicron orbit, yes, a research facility, Aesis, which is a very small tower on a lava-like planet, and then we have Ninguis, which is a ice planet, which I think you also have a station on there as well. I haven't actually seen Ninguis before. Now, what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to start out in the asteroid field, and then I'm going to... Actually, no, hang on. Let's start out on the icy planet. We'll go creative first, and then I might talk to you guys a bit about survival, as I don't really like to show it off because it's very slow and very tedious. I'll explain that when I get into here. So let's just start a new game on Ninguis, which is an icy planet. Okay, here we are. Now, first things you're going to notice is the aesthetics of the game, or at least the building blocks of the game are very similar to Space Engineers. Now, I can understand why this is actually a thing. It's because when you do building type games, it's a lot easier to do a grid-based system. And when you do a grid-based system, and a lot of times you are limited to a certain basically a cube-like area to make your blocks in, and a lot of games tend to do this. Minecraft, this game, Space Engineers, and a lot of other games. I can't think of one that's on my tip of my tongue right now, but I can't quite remember. That is a space exploration type game as well. That does also feature a block type building system. It's just a lot easier to work with, but I have to say, when it comes down to the block aesthetics, the basic blocks, I have to say Space Engineers wins when it comes to those aesthetics. Though this game does have a few more things that Space Engineers doesn't, such as a lot more detail when it comes to interior stuff. There's a lot more decorations. Now, Space Engineers kind of wins in that regard as well, as it does have the workshop support, but this game has those things natively, and who knows, it might have workshop support come in the future. Now, this is a nice looking planet, I have to say. It's a very, I know it's a very, how should I explain? A very empty, a very desolate planet, but I chose the site planet because I want to see if there's any particle effects, which there are, and a nice sky as well. Let's go check out this base first, and we'll see what's exactly inside of here before we move on. Now, Now, this game relies not just on oxygen and your player's health, but more so on your food and stamina as well. You also have a jetpack as well, though the jetpack is rather limited in survival, acting more of a jump jet type nature than it acts as a full-on jetpack in Space Engineers. Again, I'm going to be comparing a lot. I know some people might not like that, some people will. Obviously, a lot of my audience is Space Engineers orientated, so they're gonna want to like those little extra details that I compare the 2 games between. Now, this game does run on generators as opposed to reactors, very similar in how they work. You have fuel tanks here that it's odd because the generators produce the energy to survive, as where the fuel goes into the fuel tanks. As you can see here, there's only 1 canister, but we're in survival, so I don't think there's any cost limitations there. Now, everything you craft is done through the constructor. This is where a lot of the survival elements will be played. Now, you can get a small constructor which you put on other ships, which will allow you to create stuff off of a small ship, and I think there's one part here that I should be able to use to demonstrate the limitations between the 2. Now, the interface is one thing I don't necessarily like so much, because it does become a little tedious to try to navigate through the menus, especially when you're trying to craft something you want. A system that does this quite well is a game called Factorio, where, for example, if I wanted to craft, say, a cargo box that requires 3 metal plates and a control device, I would click that and it would create the prerequisites, given that I have the base materials for that. So it would create the metal plates, it would create the control device, and then it would create the metal the cargo box I need. It would just create everything leading up to what I needed for the final thing. Space Engineers does not do this either, which I would very much love to see in both of these games. But this Space Engineers is a little bit easier, as where you just create components, then you put down the part you want, and then you fill it up with the resources that you need. As with this, you have to manage your inventory rather well, or at least manage the constructor rather well. So for example, if I wanted to build, again, let's just go with something a little bit more complicated. So a spotlight cube. You come over to here, you'd have to make sure you have all your ingots converted from the basic resources. You can just create them up here, and then you'd create the metal plates you needed and the other parts as well. They would all go in the queue, then they'd come down in the inventory. Then once you've had enough, you go over here and then you create what you need to create. This isn't necessarily a bad system, but it's very hard to navigate these menus, being that you have to drag these down whenever you're looking for something, which does become a little annoying sometimes when you want to find. There's no search option, as far as I know. I could be very mistaken on that. But there are a lot of different blocks you can create as well. More specifically, there's quite a few cockpit variations and a lot of aesthetic-pleasing blocks, and I'll hopefully show them when we get to them, which I don't know if this station has any of. And again, there's a lot more containers around here as well. So the crafting is something that I think needs a little bit more work, but again, this game is in pre-alpha, so I probably shouldn't be judging it too harshly. And the lighting, again, it seems very, very early as well. Not such a bad thing, though. So this is a oxygen station. I think this is a health station, a medic station. Yeah, so you stand inside these and you get your health and your oxygen back, given that you actually need them. Again, I am in creative. I don't so much need them, so I think I'm perfectly fine otherwise. Now, I guess one thing that this game has going for it, as opposed to Space Engineers, is that this can run quite well on very basic systems, which I think is an okay thing to have taunting for, as a lot of people can be thrown off by Space Engineers' requirements, which building anything more than just an empty world can basically shut down some people's computers. Well, not really shut them down, but limit how they play. So, for, I guess, a beginner, this wouldn't be a bad game to jump into before jumping into Space Engineers. And here we have a few more aesthetic type blocks here. So you have a desk, a chair, a nice-looking sofa, a table, a shower, a few showers, a bed, and everything up here, TV. And it's quite nice that this game has them by default. And that's something that I would like to see a little bit more of in Space Engineers, and that is aesthetic blocks. Because whilst they don't do much to bring along the game, it just makes the game feel a little bit more cozy, a little bit more realistic, I guess, which I think Space Engineers is lacking in some ways. Just simple aesthetic stuff can go a very long way. Anyway, let us leave here and let me show you guys the flight system in the game, which is very similar to Space Engineers indeed. Let's come down here. And we'll, so these are basically space elevators. Once you're inside of these, it basically acts like you have a jetpack, space to go up, C to go down, and you basically hover. It's very, very simple. Now, I think this is the way I came. No, this is a hydroponic place, and this is something that I think is really cool as well, because this game does have food, as where Space Engineers does not have that yet, which I'm hoping it does eventually get that. But yes, in here they're growing tomatoes, I think they're growing wheat as well, and I don't know what that is. I think it's corn. Yes, it's definitely corn. There are space, I was going to say space food, but there is alien-type life and food sources that you can use as well, given that you find the right seeds and stuff on the planet. However, you do run the risk of eating something that wouldn't sit too well with your character. And here's a kitchen by the seams. This is a food processor, which you can process your food, given that you have obviously food to throw in here. You can make bread, you can even make space fries. Isn't that cool? And popcorn and so on. I actually kind of laughed when I saw this menu, because I wasn't expecting as much food as there is in here to make. I mean, you can make salami and everything, basically, which I think is kind of nice. Even pizza. I mean, why the hell not? This game does have multiplayer, by the way. I'm currently just playing this in, obviously, single player, as I wanted to show you guys the different aspects of the game. And this is a fridge where you can store your food, so it lasts a little bit longer. Again, stuff like this, I would like to see food aspect in Space Engineers, which by the way, I'm working on. It's just because I've upgraded to Windows 10, I'm having a few lighting issues. I can't really explain it right now, that's where we've already... Hang on, we haven't gone here. This is the alien plant stuff. Aloe vera, not so much alien-like, but you do have this over here, which is a little odd-looking. I don't really like alien stuff because they're creepy. But you get what I mean. They have different names depending on what they are. But yeah, let's leave this room because that's creepy and I don't like alien stuff so much. There is alien life as well, I should say. Basic AI wandering around for now. I haven't really seen them do too much complex stuff. Let's go out of here, and it does seem like nighttime is a little more dangerous than daytime is. Also, there is a daytime-nighttime cycle. If I pause the game here and go to the debug options, I can fast forward time as well. So if I go here, I can change the time to nighttime, daytime. So it's actually really cool, and the planets do seem to orbit each other, which I think is rather nice. If you look up there, you can see a planet kind of just slowly drifting around. It could be a moon. I will say that the planets right now that are in the game are very close to each other, and they're there for testing reasons. Once they develop the game a little bit more, they will be expanding the planets' distance away from each other. I think the moon is kind of close, but the planets are a little bit too close for them to be called planets, without any real issues anyway. So the shipbuilding is very similar to how you would expect. You put the blocks in. They do have containers here for fuel and so on, so you can fill the fuel tanks up using the proper resources. Then you have the fridge? Huh, I guess you have a fridge on your ship. I mean, why not, really? And there's thrusters and so on. So let us get inside the ship. I believe that couldn't be too hard to do if we access the cockpit here. Now, there's an oxygen station as well. If you're running low on oxygen, you just walk up to these stations and you should have your oxygen replenished. Now, the oxygen station does need oxygen tanks, or oxygen bottles, I should say, that you put in here, and then basically you come next to this thing and it refills your oxygen. Anyway, let's get inside the cockpit here. Very similar flight controls as you would expect. Space to go up, C to go down, Y to turn off, Q and E to rotate, and so on. Let me just demonstrate that now. Turn the ship on now, and let's thrust up. And as you can see, even though there is a gravity force on the planet that the game does tell us about down the bottom right there, the thrusters are kind of countering the gravitational forces automatically, which I think is rather nice. I think it does it instantaneously, maybe, or maybe it's a little harder to slow down when you go downwards, but all things said, that is completely fine. So let us fly around the planet a little bit here. This kind of does remind me of Star Wars, at least the ship type anyways. Let me know what you guys think the ship reminds you of in the comments down below. Anyway, so you do pick up resources when you fly near them. Around about 300 meters, I believe, is your range for picking up any resources like that. Now, I will say, because I'm in creative, I believe they do limit the world size to such a way that you'll see eventually a red wall basically stopping us from flying any further. They're still in development, and you know, obviously they would be expanding the planets come a future update. But this does look really nice, though. I have to say, I quite like how this looks. It's quite impressive. They can see 2 planets going up there quite fast. I can increase the world speed time, which makes things look rather interesting, to say the least. There we go. There's a few nice landscapes for an icy planet, anyways. But I think you guys want to see a little bit more of space because, well, why not? This is a space-based game. So let's fly up here. The game will tell us the distance to orbit, and there's that red line I was talking to you guys about. The odd thing about that is that only seems to cover a very small region on a planet, almost like it's a globe on its own, which I don't know why it's protecting a very small part. But anyway, once we come out of the planet over here, you'll notice a few changes. Does that have a ring around it, or am I just looking at that wrong? I could just be looking at that very, very wrongly. But anyway, let us go through the atmosphere. The ship shakes a little bit as you leave, but obviously we have left, because if I look back around here, you can see us pulling away from the planet like so. Kind of nice. Very smooth, maybe not the smoothest transition, but it definitely isn't too rough one. And there you can see the other planets and moons that you can visit. There's the Omicron that you see down over there. There's a moon, I believe, and there's the lava planet down there, and the ice one that we're just leaving now. Very, very simple. Now let's find the asteroid field, because I believe there might be a station inside that, and I don't know where to find that normally. Oh, there it is. I didn't actually see it straight away. So let's go down there and we'll have a look at this. Now, again, you guys are probably going to be drawing a lot of similarities between this game and Space Invaders, and that's completely okay. This is a game that I would recommend for anyone who wants to get into Space Invaders but maybe can't run it right now. And, you know, that's okay. Eventually you're going to upgrade your PC. Well, maybe not, I don't know. But still, this game it has a few things going for it, I think. The food aspect and the planetary aspect, I think, is rather nice. Having that already, I think, is a great thing. Let's slow down here, and we'll go check out this, oh, that's kind of interesting. Oh, there's a lot of things here. There's a bigger ship as well. Well, that's kind of cool looking. I really want to go inside that thing. Let's do that. Let's park this around somewhere. If there's enough place for us to park, let's have a look. There's one taking up that bit, and the Berber taking up the other port there. I think we can get out here, and we'll be fine, given that we actually have a jetpack. Cool. So let's have a look around here real quick. This is a research station. This is the abandoned station that we could have spawned at, given that we wanted to. A bit of glass windows on the front there. Here's a little shuttle for the ship that I think can actually probably fit inside there somewhere. I don't know where it would go, but we'll find out eventually. Let's go down on here. I think there is a... yeah, here we go. If we turn out file jetpack, we should have a gravitational force. I think it's artificial. It would have to be artificial. But, yeah, so here's the, cool, that actually has a nice view. I do love the skybox, I have to say. It does look very nice. And there's interior turrets by this teams as well. A very basic one. Yes, cool. Now, you can mount some turrets as well. The turrets on the surface area you can... seems like a shower room. Very nice. Cool. So let us go, and that is another ship, by the way. That is the Berber. Oh, the Boiber? I don't know how to really say that. Very nice looking ship. A very simple one, but nice looking nonetheless. So again, let us go... I really want to do that one. That big ship up there and fly that to end the video. This is just a very basic demonstration of the game. If you guys really want to check this out, I do recommend it. Maybe though, wait a little bit longer for its development stages, but that's just maybe me. Oh, that's cool. I wasn't expecting to see a room like this on a ship, but it does look rather nice. The music, I have to say, isn't too bad either. Oh, here we go. Here's a big production room as well. Science lab, which you can see that it says decorations if it's decoration. I think they will be adding research later on. I'm not entirely too sure, though. I don't know very much about the game, because I jumped into this as a first impressions, though I didn't really like the quality of that video, so I thought I would play the game a little bit longer, get a little bit more knowledge about the game, and then I would jump into it to do a video like this, where I just talk about the game, show off a few of its features, basically just talk about my thoughts on the game compared to Space Enemies and whatnot. The gravity generator, that's what I was looking for. That's kind of cool, because it actually does rotate around. I mean, I don't really know how that creates gravity, but, I mean, you know, gravity generators are a thing of the future, so we don't know how they work. There is a downstairs way down here. Didn't know that before. Is this connected to anything? Ah, door. What's this for? I kind of wanted to just go back outside, but, oh, we can go out through here. Very nice. Let's take the shuttle up to the big ship and see where we dock into it. So, turn it on. Oh, sorry. I meant to turn it on. There we go. And let us go up to the big ship and see where exactly this thing docks. If it docks anywhere at all. I'm guessing it probably docks somewhere on the, maybe the back side. Can't quite see any places for it. Oh, hang on, there's something down here. It looks like a little entranceway. Let's have a look. Ah, maybe that is the entranceway. It looks like that might be the space that we go into. Cool. I haven't seen this ship before. I haven't seen the shuttle either. So it's interesting to have to fly this thing. I never actually saw the Viper either, because I never played on the other planet that had that. Let's this might not even fit. I might be an idiot by trying to take this up in here. No, we can actually go up in here. Nice. And that's the camera going through the ceiling. Also nice. Let us go down here. I don't know the button to lock on to the ground, or the docking pad, sorry. But, can't be too hard to guess. Oops, that is the wrong menu, but I wanted to see if there's any way to lock these on. I think... I actually don't know how to lock them. Let's have a quick look at the options here. I guess that'll give you guys a demonstration of how the options look. Audio controls are very simple. In-game hints, I've turned them off because I don't necessarily like them so much. And then you have the rest of the stuff down here as well. Anything for the... No keys for the locking your... Huh, that's interesting. I thought there would have been a key for that. I mean, if that's not really a key that we have, I'm gonna just try pressing other keys. Oh, that was interesting. How did I do that? Oh, I just got out of the ship. Didn't realize that's what I had done. Okay, cool. So this is inside the big ship, and the game's frame rate hasn't seemed to have changed much at all. Going from a planet to a ship to a smaller ship, it seems kind of steady all around, which I think is rather nice. I actually I'm not so much worried, but I'm very curious to see how Space Enemies handles planets, as I haven't tried around with trying to implement them yet. I know a lot of people have been doing that via accessing the source code and implementing them in such a way, but I haven't done that myself. So maybe I should get to doing that, but I just kind of want to wait till they're released and just play around with them once at that stage where I can basically sit back and be like, this is amazing. Which I'm kind of expecting it to be. Maybe I have high expectations, but nonetheless, I think Keen can deliver on that front. So, what is in here? Just trying to have a quick look around, see if there's anything interesting. Now, again, the survival side of the game, I could show you guys, but it's kind of a more slower paced aspect of the game. I mean, if you guys really want a survival video, I guess I could show you guys me surviving in the game for a few videos anyway, just so you guys get a basic understanding of how the game plays in that regard. Here's a very comfortable room. The ship does seem to have a lot of them, but I want to go to the bridge so we can see what the bridge looks like and, you know, kind of fly around in the big ship. Maybe you can crash it into the planet down the video, because that is silly but fun at the same time. Very big ship, holy crap. 2 gravity generators. Interesting. A lot of generators as well that you see along the walls. They're the bigger generators. You have all the fuel cells, the power cells as well, and I think these are RCS, yes. They act as gyroscopes in a way, if you wanted to compare them in some way. So this is where you go to the front of the ship, I guess. It's quite roomy inside. I wasn't expecting it to have this much space. Oh, emergency door. Okay. Whoops, I kind of forgot about that. I was just going to fly outside and see where the main bridge is. I was thinking it was at the top here. No, where would the bridge be? Oh, I guess it's on the front of the ship. Maybe I'm mistaken. Oh, well that's kind of interesting. What is that? Just a cosmetic, or is that actually something? I can't tell. The gravity is kind of trying to force me downwards, but I'm trying to resist the gravitational pull. Now, I think it might be on the front then, which I wasn't quite expecting. Ah, there we go. That must be where it is. So, is there any entrance way for us to get inside here? Not that I can see, but we can still take the emergency door that we took to get out, to get in, and then we'll just run towards the front. Very nice. Now, there is a few things in this game that's a little odd. Whoa, turn my jetpack off. Thank you so much. There we go. That was a little odd of me to fly on my side. Yeah, so one thing that this game does that I find a little odd when it comes to creation and the removal of blocks is a lot of the time it's, how should I explain it? So you create objects via, again, you put them inside your inventory and then you place them down much like you would place down a block. Let's just use the creative menu here to basically use any blocks in the game, which I think is quite nice. But let's go with a, what should we put down? Just say we want to put down a fuel tank or a, there we go. So you can actually put them down quite easily, which is as you would expect. Now, removing them isn't so easy, especially when you're playing creative. At least I haven't figured out a way to do that normally without having to use a remover tool, which I find a little odd. I mean, I guess it's in a way you're kind of acting like a grinder, but you don't get back that item, you get back its resources, which means that if you remove a block and you want to, say you put it accidentally in the wrong place, in creative it's easy, you just delete it and move it somewhere else and put it down, as you would expect from a creative game mode. However, in survival, you have to so much grind it down, take its resources, go back to a constructor, recreate the block again, and then go back to where you wanted to place it, and hope that you place it in the right place that time. It's a little strange, I have to admit. Maybe it's just me being an idiot and putting things down the wrong place, like you kind of wouldn't expect me to do. Wonder what happens if you do that. Oh, it just opens up the door manually. I wasn't opening up the doors myself then, they were all automatic. Just coming up to them like that, and it opens up. This is not the right place. Where do you pilot this thing? Passenger seats, okay. I have no idea where the pilot seat is on this ship. I assumed it would be the hardest thing to find. That's, okay. Where would the pilot be? Oh, hang on, what's down here? No, it's just it's a lot more roomy than I was thinking. That's quite an interesting thing. So yeah, there are definitely seats to sit down on. I'm guessing that's because when you fly around in the ship, it might act a little differently. Let's try and read this here. Oh, sorry, I meant to delete. There we go. Very nice. So yeah. Oh, what's down here? Is this where we can go? Ah, this is just a storage room of that nature. Cool, not what I was looking for, but let's just run back anyways to what we think is the... I know I'm wandering around like a lost chicken here. I kind of am, honestly. Let's go up and see what's all the way at the top. I'm hoping that... Ah, here we go. This might be the place that we're looking for. Maybe. Maybe. Ah, here we go. This is what we were looking for all this time, and here it is. To pilot the capital vessel. Ooh, you get an interesting view. Huh. Okay, and then you get this view as well. Very nice. So let us thrust this thing forth. Here we go. Yeah, quite a sizable ship, I have to say. Now, to end today's video, I'm going to crash this into the planet, because why not, of course. Of all things, crashing into the planet is something I kind of want to do. Anyway, so that'll do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my little kind of showcasing of this game in a way. Emergency braking? No, 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 don't brake, don't brake, don't brake. We have power. We have power, we should be fine. Okay, maybe we don't have power. Because we're in... I kinda didn't think about that, did I? Let us go and give myself all the fuel cells I need. There we go. Damn you, game. I hate you for not having what I needed to basically fly around here. But it's fine. We can just fill everything up as we see fit. Now, again, there's no... I mean, I don't think there's any conveyor systems, so filling up stuff is a little hard to do as well. As, again, you most likely have to do things manually, which isn't too hard for smaller ships, as I think that's okay, but for a larger ship like this, filling up its fuel cells might be a little bit odd. But now we have power left. So we should be able to fly. There we go. Okay, we have half a minute. We should be able to crash into the planet perfectly fine this time around. Given that the game doesn't try to stop us. It shouldn't, though. You cannot enter a planet in a capital vessel. I don't care, game. I am going to try to crash into this as best as I can. If you continue flying, you will die. I know, game. That's what I intend on doing perfectly clearly. Here we go. I think the game knows we're going to... Oh, that's disappointing. I was really hoping to crash onto the planet. Damn it. Oh my, okay. Where does this put us back on? Not the ship we... Hang on, is this the ship we were on? No, this is back at the station, the research facility. That will have to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. That was a little bit disappointing. My apologies. I was hoping you'd fly capital vessels down to the surface, but I guess in a way it makes sense that you can't do that. Only smaller ships are able to do that, hence why you have a shuttle. In the game logic, that makes sense, though I just hoped I didn't blow up on the re-entry of the burning in the atmosphere kind of dealio. But anyway, that'll have to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Stay awesome, everyone.